Apostle Amos Hart, and I want to welcome you to Living Oil. It's not forced out of the world. That's all we're in a place of what seems to be a forward demise. It's cataclysmic. It's catastrophic, which means it's unfixable to man. And in the eyes of Satan, it's unfixable. But evidently Satan didn't really understand who God was.
To witness the glory of God, the power of God, Apostle Amos Hort.
Blessings, everybody. Good afternoon to you all. First of all, I want to take the time just to thank God for life, for health, and for strength, and for the opportunity just to share with you all. I want to thank God for my long-term friend, Bishop Gene Johnson and Lady Gail Johnson, and of course, my new friend, Pastor Overtree. Honored that you all would give me this opportunity to share with you all about virtual ministry. Very important. I think we should not take it for granted, and it's an opportunity to take the gospel to the world. So once again, I pray that God would give us insight, give us wisdom, and that you would take this information and be made the better by it. We're going to get started here in just a moment. I want to talk a little bit about how easy it is to do virtual ministry. And of course, all of us are familiar with Amazon. You can log on to Amazon.com to purchase most of the product, all of the product rather, that I'm going to be talking about today at an affordable price, and creating for yourself a platform to do virtual ministry. And of course, I personally believe that that is of utter importance. Just to kind of give you a little insight as it relates to StreamYard, we're going to be talking about product today and how inexpensive it is to purchase this product and to do ministry on a virtual level. But I do want to give you a little insight, if I can. I do want to give you a little insight about StreamYard. It is the program that I launched from. I am very familiar with it. It is very user-friendly, easy to operate, and it's convenient and affordable. There's a flyer that's going to appear on the screen. You're going to see some pricing on that particular flyer. It'll give you information as it pertains to StreamYard and the product that you're going to be purchasing. It will appear on the screen here pretty soon. And what we want you to do is kind of take note of the information that is on that flyer and kind of commit it to memory if you can. However, it's going to be what you need to purchase in order to do ministry on a virtual level. And trust me, virtual ministry is necessary. We're talking about StreamYard. And StreamYard, of course, is only $49.99 monthly or $468 annually. And I can assure you it's worth it, even though this particular broadcast is not about StreamYard, it's about pricing. You will need a launching pad. You will need a platform to launch from. You're going to have to stream from some platform. And the platform that I would recommend is StreamYard. You can broadcast to up to 10 different locations at one time. You can do Facebook, Twitter, you could do Periscope. You could do your web page. If you have some kind of app where you are connected to Roku or any kind of televised system, you can also broadcast from that particular platform. StreamYard allows you to broadcast from 10 different platforms. And I'm telling you, it is well worth it. All right. You'll see here a price list. We're going to revisit this price list later on in this particular broadcast, and we'll talk a little bit about the pricing and how we can get started as it relates to virtual ministry. Let me say this. Virtual ministry is very important. I have an organization. It's titled COREG, and that acronym stands for Cathedral of Restoration Evangelistic Global. God has blessed us to be able to do ministry in 15 states and 23 countries. I truly, with all of my heart, thought that I was doing ministry. And to the average person, you would say, well, yes, you are doing ministry. But what I discovered is that there were still areas that I was not reaching and probably would have never reached. There are places that I would probably never go into physically that the virtual ministry gave me the opportunity to be able to do ministry in areas, in countries, and places that I would never physically be able to go. I mean, there are persons who watch my broadcast as far as Egypt, as far as Rome, and many different countries around the world who have been blessed by Amos Hart Ministries and Cathedral of Restoration. 15 states, 23 countries. You would say that's a lot. But the moment I began to do virtual ministry, Coreg began to expand beyond those confines into countries we had never before been in. People were able to see us and hear us and experience what God had deposited into the organization and into the personal ministries of those who are part of the organization. It's just been a blessing. Although we have been frequently doing ministry in the United States, there are states that I have been in where I've never been able to physically minister to people or touch people, where with this virtual opportunity gave me the means to do so. It is of utter importance. It will never take the place of the church. So I don't want you to think that I'm saying in any way that virtual ministry is taking the place of the church. No, the church will stand until the day of Jesus Christ. Of course, we're in a very difficult time, and this pandemic is affecting everybody. Not only that, but if you're living in the Southeast Texas area or the Louisiana area, we've had storm after storm. My church in Lake Charles took damage. We get damages repaired and we take more damage because of the storms, which has kept us from being able to go into the sanctuary and do ministry the way we desire. Honestly, I have not been in my church doing any services since the pandemic began. That's how long we've been out of the church. So, of course, I wondered, how are we going to do it? How are we going to maintain? How am I going to be able to touch the people, stay in contact with the people, minister to them, and deposit what God has given me for them to them consistently? That was my concern. And then it just hit me. Virtual ministry. It was God himself who deposited that into my spirit. And I'm so glad that I obeyed God. Now, I have been doing ministry over the internet. I've been on television and all of those things, but it's consistency that God will honor. Once the church took damage and the pandemic came, we had to come up with a creative strategy to be able to do ministry, because all of us who are pastors understand the weight of ministry. Just because we're not in church doesn't mean that Entergy is going to say, listen, I'm not going to charge you any fee to use electricity. We understand that there's a pandemic and you're not able to have service. We can't take for granted that the responsibilities are still there. The city of Houston, the city of Beaumont, or whatever city you live in, they're not going to say, we're not going to charge you to use water because we're in a pandemic. All right. So the bills will continue to come in. The mortgage will continue to come in, so on and so forth. And yet we're not having service. And if we're not having service, we're not able to produce the income that is a necessity to be able to maintain the business of the kingdom. Well, God has given us another platform, not to replace the church, but to extend and enhance the church. And if we do it right, we will see the blessings of the Lord. As I said, since this pandemic began, I have not been in my church, but I have been faithful and consistent with virtual ministry. Excellency is very important. You're going to have to create some kind of flavor. I often say you cannot fit ministry. You have to make ministry fit you. So that creative niche, that creative strategy, the ability, the gifting that God has given you, this is what you're going to release to the audience. And you have to release it with class. Time is out for just getting on your cell phone and going on Facebook. Oh no, that does not presentate excellence. God wants us to represent the kingdom and represent the kingdom well. I mean, come on, the rappers, the singers, those who operate in a secular mentality, they have been operating in a spirit of excellence, and they don't even serve the God of excellence. All right. We are the children of the King, and we should exemplify excellence. We should exemplify a flavor that touches individuals and that draws hearts and minds. And the virtual ministry has to have the flavor of God, the intellect that God has given you. And of course, you can do it at an affordable price. That's what we're going to talk about. I wanted to give you a little insight about StreamYard and let you know how StreamYard works and how it all flows together. So we're going to kind of do a little video again here so you can see how the video works and see some of the benefits of StreamYard as we move forward into pricing. You're allowed to create a very excellent commercial, and we're going to kind of ponder on that word excellent. You're allowed to create a commercial, I believe up to 8 minutes. You can upload that commercial into StreamYard as the interim or as the closure to your particular broadcast. My broadcast comes on every Sunday at 2:45 p.m. That's important. Consistency and repetition. That's important. At 2:45 p.m. every Sunday. What that does is it gives the person something to look forward to. It gives them something to expect. They know that you're going to come on at 2:45 every Sunday, so they know when to be there. And they're going to tell somebody else about your broadcast if your broadcast is touching them and if it's blessing them. It's going to also build your outside or your virtual congregation. That's very important. The beautiful thing about virtual ministry is that there are people who love to hear the word of God, whether you're teaching it, whether you're preaching it, whatever it may be. You may be doing trainings, courses, whatever you're doing. There are people who love the word of God. So they're going to get out of their service and they're going to go right on to Facebook to see what's happening. Almost 100% of people today, even those that are not internet savvy, they are on the internet. The vast majority of people are on the internet. And the internet does for us what the local building does not do. The internet gives us the opportunity to stretch our hands and to send our message around the world from our living room. The virtual platform gives us the ability to teach, to preach, and to minister right from our living room, yet we're touching people all around the world. And that's what's important, all right? Consistency, creating repetition, creating a time frame is very important. My broadcast, 2:45 every Sunday. I do not deviate from that unless there is an absolute need to do so. If there is a need to do so, at least 72 hours prior, I send out a message. That's one of the benefits of StreamYard, all right? When you go into StreamYard and you create your broadcast, you can create your broadcast up to 7 days in advance, all right? StreamYard will create for you a live graphic that will go out to whatever platform you want to send it to. Remember, you can broadcast to up to 10 platforms, right? Once you select your platforms, even though you're doing this commercial or you're planning this video 7 days in advance, StreamYard is going to send out a flyer to every platform that you have selected. They're going to send out that flyer and they're going to update that particular platform daily up until 3 minutes, 1 minute before your broadcast starts. So they're going to help you engage your audience. They're going to help you remind your people. As a matter of fact, what's going to happen is once that broadcast goes out and those persons who are connected to your ministry by whatever platform you are doing the virtual broadcast from, it's going to give them a picture that you post or a flyer that you create, whatever you select. If you don't select anything, StreamYard's going to do something that's going to aim toward your particular broadcast. And then within that flyer, within that particular creation, it's going to ask the question, get reminder. Once they select get reminder, StreamYard will constantly remind them up until 1 minute of you coming on. And it's going to begin to broadcast live on their page because they requested to get reminder. All right. So that's very important. And I think that's very creative because behind the scenes, someone else is working for us to help us increase and improve our accuracy. All right. So you need to be able to do that. Look, I'm very comfortable. I'm sitting here very comfortable, and I'm using what is called a green screen. All right. I'm using what we call a green screen. All right. And I don't want to get ahead of myself. I want to make sure that I'm not moving too fast because I want you guys and you ladies to be able to ascertain this information and benefit wholeheartedly. 2:45 is when I start my broadcast. Now, here was my strategy. The average church Sunday school, if you're doing Sunday school, starts at about 9, 10, at the latest 10:30. Church starts at 11, at the latest noon, in most cases. Well, by the time service is out, I'm just beginning. And that was my strategy, all right? Because I wanted to be able to talk to people once they came home who wanted more of the word. Not only that, I wanted to be able to reach those people who didn't go to church on Sundays and slept in late, all right? So they wouldn't get up to about 12, 1 o'clock. So I wanted to create a time schematic that worked with those who got out of church and maybe wanted to hear some more teaching or some more preaching or some more training, but at the same time, be able to reach those who slept late for whatever reason. People go to the clubs that are not saved, but yet they're on the web, they're on Facebook, and they just might hear something in your teaching that will touch their hearts and cause them to receive Christ. I have a major platform. And that platform is because of consistency. It's because I did not deviate from the time frame, particularly on Sunday. Now, I also do a Tuesday night at 7:30, 7:45, and we try to maintain a consistency there as well. I'm a little bit more flexible with my Tuesday nights, particularly in the time that we're in. We're doing a lot of work at the church. I'm back and forth to Louisiana. And so sometimes I may do it Tuesday. Sometimes I have to do it on Monday. And sometimes I have to do it on Thursday. But I have committed to my followers and to those that have been faithful watching my virtual broadcast that if I have to make adjustments, it's going to always be on a Monday or a Thursday. So they know this. They've become consistent with it. So they know that if they didn't see me Monday, it's going to be the regular time Tuesday. And if they don't see me Tuesday, it's going to be Thursday. All right. They understand that because I've communicated that with them and they support it. All right. One thing that we do when we go on with our broadcast is we allow about 5 minutes for those persons to come on. And in that 5-minute period, we are sharing the broadcast in Messenger. We are sharing the broadcast on our different platforms. We are sharing the broadcast through text message. We are sharing the broadcast through WhatsApp, all of the other platforms that may not be associated to Facebook or StreamYard or whatever streamline you are using. So we're in our phones, texting the link. We're doing everything within that 5 minutes. And watch this. We're also asking our followers to invite, to tag, and to share. To invite, to tag, and to share. We also honor leadership. Every broadcast, Sunday or Tuesday, we honor leadership. We give shout outs to pastors. We ask our viewers to give a shout out to their pastor so that we can honor and acknowledge their pastor who has given them the liberty to be able to participate in this particular broadcast. I have pastors who have assigned their members to be faithful to my broadcast, and that says a lot. So we want to honor those pastors. So and your viewers love that when you acknowledge their pastors and give them the opportunity to put their pastors' names in the feed and to say, this is my pastor, this is my church. We also give them the opportunity to represent their city, where they're from. If they're ministers, they can put minister such and such or bishop such and such, and we acknowledge them. And that makes them feel good. All right. So we ask them to invite, to tag, and to share. And here's what's really going to build your broadcast. Ask them to do watch parties. I'm going to say it again. Ask them to do watch parties. Very important. This will build your broadcast. All right. And as they do watch parties, it's going to pick up what I call the unknown viewers, the unknown viewers. As they invite, tag, and share, it's going to pick up the unknown viewers. You're going to be able to count every viewer that you have some kind of way connected yourself with through some media platform. But if you're not connected with them, you will not be able to see those individuals. So you may have 1.5K watching you, but you really may have 3K or 3,000 people watching you because they are watching you through a watch party. They are watching you through an invite, a tag, or a share, and they're not associated to you. What is the benefit of that? The more viewers you get, you'll start receiving these little messages from Facebook. $5, advertise, get more viewers. You see that? Go ahead, spend that $5. Allow them to charge you the $5 to get more viewers, because once you reach a certain height of viewers, they're going to start paying you. The same thing with YouTube and other platforms. Once you get so many viewers, they're going to start compensating you because you are building their platform. You are bringing viewers into their platform. And that's one way you benefit virtually as it relates to virtual ministry. All right. Now, another thing that StreamYard offers is on-screen information. I'm going to have my admin, while I'm talking, just put something on the screen where you guys can see. Just type in something, maybe a topic. Matter of fact, you can go into the feed and just put a scripture on the screen. We should have some scriptures already in the feed. And you heard me say already in the feed. The beautiful thing about StreamYard is you can have everything prepared for your message before you even preach it. You can do your studies, you can get your scriptures, and you can go ahead and have those scriptures put into StreamYard. You can have key points and notes put into StreamYard. You can have topics put into StreamYard. And once you begin teaching, those things can be displayed on the screen while you're teaching. This is not being typed in at the time. This is already placed in your stream field. This has already been placed in your field 2, 3, 4, up to 7 days prior to your message. So it's so convenient. It's so easy. And once again, it demonstrates excellence. Go ahead, if you will, and put a few scriptures on the screen while I'm talking, just to let them see how it works. All right. Also, you can acknowledge guest pastors. I mean, there's so much you can do. StreamYard is incredible. It's incredible and it's easy to use. I did a virtual revival with my dear friend, Prophet Charles Ross, and all I needed to do to make this revival work. Now, hear me. He was in Florida. I was in Texas. But StreamYard gives you the capability of being able to tap into another camera system. All right. All you'll need is their particular code. You save their code into your StreamYard. And what happened was, once we started the revival, he was in his church. I was in my living room using my green screen. Because he gave me access and gave me the code, I tapped into his cameras, and whatever he was doing in his church showed up on my screen. And what we did is we brought a real live 2-day revival on virtual television. All right. I had access to his cameras. We could see him preaching. We could see the praise team. We could see the congregation. It was just a beautiful experience. And that way we can work together to get the message of Jesus Christ across. And I'm telling you, it's done in a spirit of excellence. So much more. But today is not about StreamYard. It's about pricing. If you will, I'm going to ask you just to put that the picture graph worth 1,000 words so you can see what it is you're going to need. And we're going to move into pricing. All right. This is just a small display of the products that you're going to need to begin virtual ministry. You're going to need a 4K high definition camcorder. You're going to need a 9 by 15 feet green screen. You're going to need the HDMI USB adapter. That's an option depending on your laptop. You're going to need a USB to Ethernet adapter. That's an option depending on your laptop. And of course, you're going to need an Ethernet cable, Cat6. And then you're going to need your LED lamps for lighting. Very important. So let's look at the prices here. All right. StreamYard, $49.99 a month, $468 annually. There are many other platforms. I recommend StreamYard. I'm familiar with it. I've tried others. This has been the best experience. All right. Now, 4K ultra high definition camera, $129.99 and up. $129.99 and up. Now, the one price for $129.99 will do exactly what you need it to do. So you don't have to purchase a more expensive. You can get a 4K ultra high definition camera for $129.99, and it's going to do everything you need to do, everything you need it to do for virtual ministry. And then you're going to need a camera tripod. That's only $16.49. Now, you don't have to order it. You can go right into a local Walmart or a local music store and you can purchase it. But for $16.49, that's a good price. I recommend you do it through Amazon. And then, of course, the Ethernet cable, Cat6, of course, $17.99. The green screen, 9 by 15 feet, $49.99. And then, of course, the LED floor lighting lamps, $24.49. All right, let's talk a little bit about the green screen. All right, the green screen is necessary. But before going into detail of the green screen, I do want you to know that you can create a flyer and use that flyer as a background. We've done that just to give you an idea of what it will look like. So while I'm talking, you're going to see the background switch and you're going to see the flyer become the background. You'll see that as I'm talking. Now, the green screen, there is no replacing it. But you do have other options as it relates to StreamYard. They do give you other options. And that is allowing you to create a flyer, upload that flyer, and make that flyer your background. All right? You can upload the flyer and make that flyer your background. And I think that's awesome. Now, let me show you something real quick. All right? Here's the flyer, right? You can hear me, but you see the flyer. All right? Now, this is called an overlay. All right? This is called an overlay. An overlay is just what it is. It lays over you. You can still speak and you can still be heard. However, you cannot be seen. This is good for product trainings and teachings and things like that, where you want to be heard, but at the same time, you need them to see what you're talking about. Picture graph worth 1,000 words. And it's real simple. It's just the push of a button, all right? And then, of course, you have what you call backgrounds. Backgrounds. Now, once I move to the background, you won't be able to hear me, all right? Because I'll have to remove myself from the video in order for you to see the background, all right? So let's do that real quick. All right? So if you're going to use a background, remember, and a background, of course, is something that you designed, so on and so forth. You can see the background, but you can't hear me, neither can you see me, all right? Because you have to remove yourself from video and it's going to mute you so you cannot be heard. So be very, very careful when creating flyers because if you go by way of background, you're going to have to remove yourself from the video. You cannot be seen or heard. But some persons use the background for the first 30 seconds to 60 seconds, and they'll give the message, broadcast will start shortly. All right, so you can see the background. There may be writing coming across the screen, so on and so forth. So that is the purpose of the background. All right. And then, of course, there's what you call the countdown. All right. The countdown just kind of prepares you to go into the virtual broadcast. Let me show you. All right, that's the countdown. I use the countdown once we get ready to start. Normally for about 5 minutes, you may see a background or a flyer. For the most part, you'll see a flyer because I'm going to have some music playing, so on and so forth. There's so many different things you can do. Now, after the countdown, I move into what is called video. And this is a commercial that gives a sense of excellency, a sense of excellence, and it speaks to the congregation that we're reaching the masses and we're not half-stepping with it. So after the countdown, we go. Greetings. This is Apostle Amos Hart, and I want to welcome you to Living Oil. It's cataclysmic, it's catastrophic, which means it's unfixable. And in the eyes of Satan, it's unfixable. But evidently Satan didn't really understand who God was.
Witness the glory of God, the power of God. Apostle Amos Hort.
Now, the beautiful thing about the countdown and the video is it automatically mutes you, and then it unmutes you and pulls you right back into the screen and gives you total control the moment it ends. So it's set up to work with you. So all you have to do is pause a minute, take a breath, relax yourself, and the moment it ends, it pulls you right back into the feed and you have total control. All right. These are benefits. These are benefits that helps us to be able to produce excellent information, excellent video, and people's lives are made the better. Let's talk now about the green screen. I did a teaching some time ago about overcoming and destroying demonic powers and demonic strongholds. And I wanted to be creative. So I got a green screen background to kind of speak to that particular topic. It should come on the screen here in just a moment. I like my green screen backgrounds to fit my topics. And so I kind of look and search for that so that the audience can kind of feel what I feel and experience what I'm experiencing. And that's very, very, very important to me. So keep that in mind, that you can set up your green screen to match your particular topic, to match your particular ideal as it relates to what you're teaching. Here, this background is kind of a dark and gloomy background, and it speaks to that kind of mindset. I really wanted to get the audience, the viewers, in the mindset of what I was talking about. So what better than to put something behind me that spoke to that particular topic. I didn't stop there. I also did a teaching on prison ministry, kind of talking to the streets and hardcore word for hardcore people. And so I green screened the background that kind of spoke to that, put myself in a kind of a predicament or put myself in a kind of a predicament that would touch that particular or reach that particular audience. And you can be as creative as you choose to be. The sky's the limit. And when we talk about these green screen backgrounds, there are free sites. I'm going to ask my admin if she can to put the free site on the screen so you guys can see it, and you can use it, because trust me, they will charge you for these particular backgrounds. If you don't know where to go, you can get them for free. Maybe you want a relaxed setting, something comfortable. Those backgrounds are available as well. Something that kind of just calms the nerves or so on and so forth. You can definitely do that. Maybe you want more of a church background. You know, the options are there. It's just up to you, what you choose, what you desire. Your symbolism is basically your creativity, and you have the option of doing the miraculous. That's what I call it, because the green screen makes it what you want it to be. And I mean, the sky is the limit. Maybe you want more business look. You got it. The sky is the limit. And I'm just changing between screens just to show you that there really is no limit. You can go and you can get this information for free. It will be on the screen here very shortly. I'm just moving kind of fast. All right. So want you to bear that in mind. There is no substitute for the green screen. There is no substitute for the green screen. Listen, I'm not even using my LED lighting. All right. I could enhance this visual if I chose. I'm just not using my lighting. I'm using my regular lamp in my office and my regular overlight in my office. That's all I'm using. All right. A properly lit green screen makes the difference. Makes the difference. Also, in addition to that, you got to have sound. You got to have sound, and you got to have clarity. And we're going to talk about that in just a moment. We'll talk about that in just a moment. Every once in a while, in the midst of the teaching or in the midst of the broadcast, I'll throw in a commercial, which is what you guys just saw, something simple. It depends on what I'm doing. If I'm doing a training or a course, I'll throw in a commercial. It'll go something like this.
Get ready for a move of God that's bound to shake up the nation and to loose the bands of wickedness that bind God's people. Let's prepare our hearts and minds for Apostle Amos Horton's Living Oil.
This is a All right, I interrupt that commercial, but I just wanted to show you there's so much you can do. You may need to get a glass of water. You may need to take a breath. You may need to do something. So you can utilize those commercials to buy yourself necessary time. And that's very important. All right. Again, on the screen, we're going to talk numbers. We're going to talk pricing, and we're going to conclude this particular broadcast. All right. StreamYard, $49.99 a month, $468 annually. All right. There is no better way to go. Now, some of you may say, Apostle, Bishop, I can't afford this. I promise you, you can. Let me give you a personal testimony. Everything that I have invested in StreamYard, everything that I have invested in this equipment, it has come back to me 10 times over. I'm going to say it again. It has come to me 10 times over. All right. I do a Sunday and a Tuesday. And on that Sunday and Tuesday, it overcompensates for what I have invested to be able to do virtual ministry. There are people all over the world who are blessed by the broadcast, and they sow, they give. We're not manipulative. The Bible says we have not because we ask not. So on Sundays and Tuesdays, we always do an offering. We, of course, explain that this is our Sunday virtual service, or this is our Tuesday night Bible study. And of course, we're going to ask for an offering. Those of you who feel the liberty and the leading of the Holy Ghost to give, we ask that you would do so. I have a minimum that I ask for, and I've been asking for that particular minimum since the pandemic began. And of course, there are persons who have been faithful since the pandemic has begun. And guess what? It increases what we're doing. It helps us to maintain the responsibilities of the church. And those of you who are pastors, who are full-time, it can cause you to continue to be able to function, relieve you of a lot of the stress that's associated to not being able to work the field and do what you're called to do. God has a ram in the bush. I give you my word that it will take care of itself. It's worth the investment. All right. the 4K ultra high definition camera. When you hook the camera into your system, you have to give the camera control of your system. So you want to select PC camera. You don't want to select mass storage. You want to select once again PC camera. Very, very, very important. What that does is it gives your camera control of your laptop, and it causes them to work together. So now your camera is able to feed from what's in your laptop. Green screens are in your laptop. They're not in your camera. But if you want your camera to be able to adapt to the green screen, you have to make sure you select PC camera when you open the camera. Very important. If you select storage, it's not going to do anything but just store information in that camera. That's all it's going to do. All right. Once you connect your camera into your laptop and you select PC camera, and they're now working as one, they're working together. The camera also comes equipped with a microphone. Now, I'm going to show you what the camera looks like. I don't have my microphone here with me because, well, I have one with me. It's put up on the one I'm using now, and the other one is just put away. But the camera looks like this. This is the camera here. This is a 4K ultra camera. All right. And of course, here at the top, you can see this is where your microphone would go. It does come with a microphone. And that's what's interesting. This 4K camera comes with a microphone. All right. It comes with a battery. And of course, it comes with a remote control and a charging cord and socket or port. All right. It comes with a remote control, a microphone, a battery, and a charger and port. When you get the camera, the first thing you're going to have to do is you're going to have to open the battery outlet on the microphone, because the battery is going to be in plastic and it's not going to work. Take it out of the plastic, and of course, it's going to work. I also have some professional batteries here that I want to show you. I may have to get them. I just thought about it. If we can get those, I want to show them. You want to get a battery that is a 2800 mAh, M-A-H, 2800 mAh. That is very important. Most of us don't know, even as it relates to preaching, our microphones in the church, Duracell, Energizer, throw those things out. I'm telling you, that is a temporary fix. It's not what your microphone is calling for. If you want your microphone to perform at max, you need a 2800 mAh battery. All right. That's this type of battery here. I don't know how well you can see it, but I'm trying my best to. All right. 2800 mAh, 2800 mAh. That's what we call it. And there are all kinds of batteries that are 2800. That battery is going to force your mic to perform at maximum. So some of you who have Sennheiser and Shure mics, and you think that you're getting performance out of that mic, you're not even touching the surface until you get the right kind of battery. I learned that because I had a group of guys come in and install my wiring for the system, and he asked me what kind of batteries I was using, and I said, man, I'm using rechargeable batteries. You know, we try to do the best. And so he takes my battery, and it was like a 1300 mAh, and he laughed and he said, well, yeah, to the best of its ability, it'll try and get the job done. And I was excited. I thought I was really doing what I needed to do. And he explained to me what the MAH stood for and how it makes the microphone perform at max, or whatever you're using it for. It's going to get 100% power, because this battery will charge it, will give it 100% power. And I'm telling you, I thought I was getting the best out of my mics until I start using the proper battery. So that's very, very important. And you can also get those on Amazon just as well. All right. The microphone on the camera will have a mid-level volume and a high-level volume. I just use the high-level volume. All right. That's very important, that people be able to hear you. Mid-level may not cause you to protrude as much as you would like to protrude. And some persons may not hear you. And trust me, they can communicate with you, which is another plus. Your audience can communicate with you through the streams on StreamYard, through the feeds on StreamYard. They can communicate and they'll tell you, you're not loud enough, we can't hear you, no sound, so on and so forth. All right. So I recommend that you go ahead and you aim for the highest level as it relates to volume. It's going to be on the side of the microphone. For example, the microphone will sit here. All right. And on the side of the microphone, you're going to have your volume level where you can adjust it, turn it up, or you can turn it down. All right. And then, of course, we have the camera tripod. Now, I don't have a tripod here with me, but you guys know what a tripod is. Like I say, you can go in the store and pay $39.99 or $29.99 for it, but you can order on Amazon for $16.49. And then, of course, there is the Ethernet cable, and that's a Cat 6. Very important that you get Cat 6. I recommend 50 feet because if you're going to be broadcasting from your home or your office, you want to be able to move around. You want to be able to create some distance in case you need to get away if things are going on in one room and you need to move from that particular area because there's so much noise. At least get 50 feet. 100 is even better, but at least get 50 feet. All right. This is not a 50-foot Ethernet cable. I'm running a 50-foot now into my system, but this is what an Ethernet cable looks like, right? Almost like a phone cable, just a little bit bigger on the tip. Right. So this is an Ethernet cable, and the purpose of the Ethernet cable is to guarantee less drops and less freezing, because all Wi-Fi drops. It just picks up so fast that it catches itself. But when you're doing uploads, you will experience freezing, stagnation, so on and so forth. So the Ethernet does not guarantee you'll never get a drop, because internet's internet. Wireless routing and connecting into internet systems comes with its own challenges, but it does guarantee that you'll get less freezing and less drops. Okay, so this is why you want the Ethernet cable, because you can plug the Ethernet cable directly into your router, and of course run that cable into your laptop. With that being said, you're going to need two options. It's not listed here, but I'm going to name them for you. It just depends on what type of laptop you have. Some laptops are not equipped with an Ethernet port or an HDMI port, depending on what camera system you're using. I recommend Ethernet over HDMI, right? Because HDMI is more so video. Ethernet Cat 6 can be both video and internet. But let's just say you don't have a laptop that has the Ethernet port. Well, there is something you can purchase, and I'm going to pull it up here on the screen for you. There is something you can purchase, and it's a Ethernet USB converter. Ethernet USB converter, and not pricey. I believe it's about $7.99. $7.99. And what happens is you'll plug the USB port into your laptop, and then you'll plug the Ethernet cable on the opposite end. And when you do that, you now have converted your USB to Ethernet, and you're able to connect directly into your system and go from there. The same applies with the HDMI, USB HDMI converter or adapter. You just plug your HDMI on the opposite end of the USB, plug your USB into your laptop, and you've converted your laptop into a laptop that now works with HDMI. All right. Those are options only if your laptop does not have the HDMI port or the USB, or rather the HDMI port or the Ethernet port. This laptop here does not have, the one that I'm using does not have the Ethernet port. It has the HDMI port, but it doesn't have the Ethernet. All right. I just moved my Ethernet adapter. So I was moving it to show you guys how it worked. Okay. I was going to actually disconnect it and jump to the Wi-Fi, show you what it was, and then reconnect it. But you see what happens. The moment I went into Wi-Fi, I got a drop. You see what I'm saying? So the Ethernet can save you from those drops. It doesn't eliminate them totally, but it will guarantee less drops. As I said, the moment I tried to switch from Ethernet to go directly to Wi-Fi, I got a drop. So this is why you want to make sure you're getting Ethernet, okay? And this here, all right, is what you call the LED floor lighting lamps. And they're only $24.49. Now, it comes with two. So you're going to get two of these for $24.49, all right? You see at the bottom, of course, they'll go in and you can latch it and you can lock it, of course. But if you unlatch the bottom and open it up, you'll see these little teeth. All right. This basically just holds it on a flat surface for you. And it kind of locks it in place so it doesn't fall. All right. If you're in a position to where you don't want those teeth to come out, you just push them in and then you'll turn the knob and you'll lock it. All right. But this is your LED lamp. And this is for extra lighting on your green screen. Interesting. It comes with colored caps. So if you want to change the color, you can also do that. You get two of these for $24.99, if I'm not mistaken, $24.49 to be exact. You get two of these. I recommend buy four. Okay. And trust me, this little lamp here, if I had my lamps hooked up tonight, you would definitely see the difference. All right. Because a well-lit green screen does wonders. All right. A well-lit green screen does wonders. We talked about the green screen, showed you some of the abilities of the green screen, but here's the pricing: $49.99. $49.99. And it's very important that you get a 9 by 15 feet. 9 by 15 feet at a minimum. You want bigger, great, but you do not want smaller. You want this size because it's going to cover enough of the wall space so that you will be able to sit comfortably and your camera not catch so much of the screen and then catch your wall or catch something over here or something over there. You want it to be wide enough so that when you turn on your camera is consumed by the green screen. And I'm saying that from experience. I have a 6x9 as well. And that's used for if I'm in a hotel and I've got to do a quick commercial or something like that. I'll zoom in real close, do that commercial, get it done, send it off, so on and so forth. But when you're really trying to relax and be comfortable and the camera's set a certain way, when that camera is backed up, it's going to look. And when it looks, it's going to see everything. And if that green screen is not big enough to hide every part of the wall that the camera can see, then you're going to have whatever you're looking at in your green screen on one half of your video, and then your regular wall on the other half of your video, so on and so forth. All right. So it's very important. You do not want to go lower or lesser than 9 by 15. Very important. You don't want to go lower. So let's talk numbers. The 4K Ultra High Definition camera, $129.99 and up. We're going to deal with the $129.99. The camera tripod, $16.49. The Ethernet cable Cat6, $17.99. The green screen, 9 by 15 feet, $49.99. And the LED lighting lamps, $24.49, which gives us a total of $246.94. All of this equipment under $300. Let's look at that again. The 4K Ultra High Definition camera, $129.99. The camera tripod, $16.49. The Ethernet cable Cat6, $17.99. The green screen, 9 by 15 feet, $49.99. The LED floor lighting lamps, $24.49. Total pricing of equipment, $246.94. That's unbelievable. That's unbelievable. And if you decide to do this and you use StreamYard, $49.99 a month or $468 annually. And I'm sharing with you from experience, it will compensate for itself. All right. Now, I also mentioned the adapter for the Ethernet, which is an option because your laptop may already have an Ethernet port. I also mentioned the HDMI adapter, but your laptop may have an HDMI port. But if it does not, and you add these two instruments to the pricing, your price will then change from $246.94 to $253.92. $253.92. All right. So you're still under $300. You're still under $300. You can do it. It's affordable and it's worth it. I hope today that I've said something that has piqued your curiosity, that has gained your interest. I hope that you will take this seriously, because if we're going to reach the masses, this is a must. As I said, virtual ministry will never take place or take the place of the church. It is an extension to the church. I believe that God has ordained this to be so, that those that we are not reaching outside of the house, we can now reach outside of the house. We've got to look beyond the four walls. And this is a way for all of us to do the work of the evangelist. This is a way for all of us to be able to take the gospel to the world. This is a way for us to be able to win the masses. Once again, thank you, Bishop Johnson and Lady Johnson. Thank you, Pastor Overtree. I'm so glad and so grateful that you gave me this opportunity to share with you. There's so much more, but time won't allow me to do it all in one night. I would love to be able to share more with you. Maybe we can set some things up to do more and to say more as it relates to StreamYard, as it relates to virtual ministry. I would love to do that. May the blessings of the Lord that make rich and add no sorrow overtake you. That is my prayer. And until next time, you be blessed. Greetings. This is Apostle Amos Hart, and I want to welcome you to Living Oil.
It's cataclysmic, it's catastrophic, which means it's unfixable. And in the eyes of Satan, it's unfixable. But evidently Satan didn't really understand who God was.
Witness the glory of God, the power of God. Apostle Amos Hort.